What's going on? Move the mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Santa Rico, with our Let's Play Season 2, episode number 10.5. And I'll tell you what happened. I did a recording. I'm going to pause this real quick. I always like to start with it playing so you can kind of see the city in motion. But I recorded an episode and ended up spending a ton of time doing some really basic infrastructure, and it wasn't that exciting. I'll show you what I did. So we only had an off-ramp over here. Now we have a full highway exit. I used I cheated. I used the three-way T intersection just to get something going. And then that comes into 6 lanes here. So 3 in either direction, same as the highway. It just splits it into a 6-lane road. To divert some of the traffic over here, we split off into a rotary. And that takes us to this back main avenue, which is slightly disconnected from this main avenue, which is already very heavy on traffic. So I thought, rather than bring the highway in over here and force even more traffic, we wanted to split things up and from this side of the city kind of come at it from this avenue into the big downtown area. Then over here, I was gonna do a coastal highway, but this is already in pretty good shape. We can keep the traffic lights off of here. And in fact, as I say that, I zoom in and see I haven't taken them off yet. But as we start to build out this way towards the water, we can take those traffic lights off, really prioritize the traffic on this main road. And that sort of becomes a faster way into the city from this side. If that ends up not servicing as much traffic as we want, we can always build a highway over there. And then the other thing I did was, well, there's a couple things I did, but the next thing I did was this rotary here on the south side of the city, and you'll notice that goes into a tunnel which connects up over here. So that comes out. If you want to take this highway to the south part of the city, technically the north, the bottom down there, you can follow this highway under. Let me bring up the road views and show you where it is. I'm glad I didn't let that play too long, because I forgot that as I was saving last time, I've disconnected my power grids. Oh, God. That's what I get for starting the episode with cinematic view and not looking at the actual problems that are happening. Let's get this connected back right away before anybody gets mad and moves out. So we'll connect that, and in fact, let's connect over here on this side of the grid too. Man, that could have been bad. Let's repower these people. So sorry about that. So we did some of those things. I cleaned up the exit over here a little bit. I did slightly longer, more parallel ramps. Just wanted to make it look a little better. But as you can see, this one is handling a ton of traffic. This one's fine. We still have a bit of a backup here, which we can look at some of our cross sections and cross traffic. Let me make sure I don't have any lights. There shouldn't be any lights on the rotary. But let's see what the lights are around, immediately around these intersections. We've got a stop sign there. This is definitely very heavy, so we'll look at diverting people off of here. Maybe even, let's do this right now. Let's connect them down to this rotary so that if they need to go into the city, they've got another option. So all of that happened. And it may seem like a lot, but honestly, it wasn't the most exciting episode. I wanted to kind of get some more city growth happening. Now, this is the last thing that I think I want to talk about. As I zoom out, I see 2 more things. So this is going to be our central park. And I did some just windy, weird footpaths with no particular direction, except if you want to get from here to over there, I want you to be able to snake through and take some different paths and really kind of make this come alive. And when you're down here in first person mode and you're walking around, it doesn't seem so crazy, right? There's paths to get you everywhere. But when Park Life hits consoles, I'll go ahead and build this into a giant central park, and we'll make it a fun place. But I extended that down further to the, well, bottom of the screen, which is technically the north. So some good developments. This road too that I connected over here, and off of here, this sideways road, I'll show you what I was going to do next for expansion down here, is I wanted to break up the grid a little bit and not get away from a grid necessarily, but just have a different grid. So we're going to start to angle things off this way. And just like it happens in New York City, streets get longer and longer as the two main avenues connecting them diverge more and more at this same angle. So we'll connect down here as these roads get longer and longer. Maybe we'll connect, you know, some roads like that. And I want to provide lots more zoning, so we'll do that. The last thing that I want to cover is you'll notice that our water pumps and sewage pumps are gone. We made way under here for our coastal road at some point. I moved them over here across the river, and I did canals. Somebody mentioned that in the comments, I believe, that you can snap water and sewage to canals, and you can actually see they kind of go into the water. We set up, rather than running power lines, I did the advanced wind turbines, which support more than enough power for each group of pumps and sewage. I might flatten the ground a little bit just so that they're all kind of the same height. But we got water and sewage for days in a good way. These are the purifiers, so it totally pumps out clean water. No sewage at all anymore. The only problem that I ran into is when you disrupt water flow that much to create these canals, it creates like almost a mini tidal wave, and some of these houses started to get flooded pretty bad, so I ended up shaping the shore a bit to kind of bring the beach out, slant it down more, and give the water a little less room to climb up into those houses, which are pretty low overall. So I think that's it. I may be reminded of something else, but I think that's a good kind of recap. It seems like a lot, but honestly, it wasn't a very exciting episode, so I hope you don't mind that I didn't post that one. What I want to do now is meet some of our demands, and we've got a ton of it in every aspect. So let me stamp out a couple of these blocks. What we could do here, get some really funky angles going, is let's pull out our 6 lanes. We'll upgrade this, and we'll continue this down. I want these main avenues to be able to support a lot of traffic. Let's see where this connects with that other angle. Maybe we'll go to like... We'll curve this in. I just got an idea. So we'll provide kind of another avenue through the city. And to the side of the park, basically. So we'll do that. We'll connect through there. And let's see if this lets us connect at a... That's not a bad angle. I kind of like that. A little bit of a curve. And then we can go back to our 2-lane roads and do the exact same thing, is just kind of connect these as straight as it will let us. Sometimes it's going to force that curve on us. Let's see. That's not too bad, and we can put like a big building here if we wanted to. Leave that block open. We do the same thing here. We've still got to put some of our uniques in, and some of those get pretty large. So I'm thinking down here, immediately around the park, I think I want to stay with larger office buildings. I don't know why it won't let me snap where I want to. Let's go right in the middle of these two. And we'll leave a little bit of dead space, again, for larger buildings, or just to have a little bit of room to breathe as we start to approach the water. Plus, we're going to leave room for our fire tower here. Maybe we should just move that now. Can we get it right in the middle of the zoning? It'd be nice if it showed me the zoning in that view. See how close we got. Perfect. So we need the most of industry. So let's not zone this block, because we can keep that open for a big building. Maybe we'll find that immediately. And we're not going to zone on this block, because this is going to be our central park. I hope park life is not too long. It's really simple. It's a small mod. If you haven't played it, I say mod, it's a DLC for the base game. It's really cool though. Like I love it. I think it brings some really cool life into the city. Let's extend this road over here. I'm gonna come up at the same angle. We'll do one more of those 6-lane roads to cover that branch right there. So people have a couple fast ways to come in here. This I didn't upgrade yet. I feel like this one should be maybe a 6-lane to there. Because that is only a 3-way right now. What if we did that? We can always knock some of these out if we find that it creates too much traffic, and we can always manage the traffic lights even in the base game on console, or is that part of the mass transit DLC? Either way, you don't need mods to do it. Traffic Manager Present Edition is a fantastic mod on the PC. It goes a little overboard though, but you can do some really cool stuff with it. But I find that if you shape the roads right, if you know, put a 3-lane road coming this way and give it options, you've got a straight lane in the middle, you've got right and left turn lanes, you know, you can design things where you don't necessarily need Traffic Manager, but it does help. But I think that the most important thing is just to understand the base game. Let's do this entire wedge that we've defined so far as office. This is way more zoning than we need for the demand that we have, but I want to commit to that. I think we'll do like one block on either side of here. Like I want the real tall buildings like right around Central Park, and then I want to start kind of dipping down in height. Now we may revamp, like these two intersections are way too close together. We'll stop like that. We'll fix some of those things. Let's figure out where we can get some residential zoning next. And I think maybe over here would be nice, because then we can build this out a little more for commercial space. So let's do that so that we don't create too many intersections with the road on the right. We'll go back over here. We'll connect this at about the halfway point here. That looks okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then let's connect this here. Now this is going to be residential, so it will see a little less traffic, but these cross streets are still going to be pretty busy once we move a lot more people in here. Let's mark that off. Before we hit play too, we'll double check our zoning, because I think I want this to be a green neighborhood over here. I think that would be a nice spot. And then maybe we could even do some high density local produce over here. Let's give a little bit of room for residents to move in over on this side. We'll keep them right there. I don't want too much of a dead zone in my downtown area here. So let's extend that out. And this should not overwrite the zoning that's already defined. This should define and limit the zones off the road that we're building now. So we'll do that. We'll have some smaller apartment buildings in there. And just getting a little loose with some of those lines, like an older neighborhood that the city got built up around. Let's define that. Let's check. Now, I don't think we need all... We don't need all high-rise office. It's okay to have some. So I'm going to get a little creative with the districting here. Let's bring this up to that street for now. We will repaint that a little bit to make sure that we're not affecting any of these businesses. Right there should be good. Use the street as our divider. And this would be awesome if it let me do this the way that I wanted to. But I want to get these little zones right on the end of each street. Unfortunately, we're going to get some spillover here. So I'd like to be able to just say that is high rise. That is high rise. But we might have a couple high rises spill into here. The rest will be just regular office. So we're going to get a dramatic drop off sort of on this area. But it's not that uncommon to see in real cities. Let's get our water out. And while those things are building, we ran water this way, so we may as well do some crazy pipes off of here. As the city gets bigger and bigger, I get less precise about my pipe placement. Just want to make sure everything's covered, and we've got tons of money to spare, so we'll make sure all this is covered for now. We're not zoning in the park, so we're not too worried about that. And we'll come down off of this and just go straight down this road. No, we won't. We'll hook it in because it won't let me. And then let's just close this off like that and like that. Good enough. So that covers all that. Let's extend these pipes out to cover this residential neighborhood. And then we'll hit play. Let some people start moving in. And then we've got to think about commercial expansion. And that's going to be just above where we're at in the screen right now. Okay, everything's covered there. Should be okay. We'll hit play 3 times. Let's see some stuff move in, hopefully. Still have a problem with exporting of goods. The shipping, very briefly addressed that. We've got plenty of ships. We've got to do more commercial space. That will help out a little bit. So let's zone off over here. All this. We'll find maybe a fancy way to tuck up in here up by the highway. Would be kind of cool. While we've got almost $1 million in the bank, though, let's look at what uniques we have. So I think we've done all the level 1s, all the level 2s that we've unlocked. I haven't done the disasters or I think this is a Green Cities thing. Farming specialization built. I haven't done a farm town yet, so I don't have that unlocked. We've got a lot of these buildings, so we've got a ton of stuff we can drop in. Let's see. So bigger skyscrapers. We've already put this in. Let's drop some of the bigger, more obtrusive buildings in before we get too much zoning to happen. This one's huge. This is the Colossal Order offices. I think we can tuck it in right there. We won't be able to extend that avenue down, but that is okay because we might rework this corner over here and bring this avenue at an angle that we have a 4-way here rather than a 4-way or a 3-way here and a 3-way here. Maybe we just angle that over, connect those two up. Let's see what else. Modern Art Museum. Nope. Let's see. Grand Library. We'll overwrite some stuff here and maybe drop it on this corner so that there's good traffic support for it. Some of these will bring in quite a fair number of people. Somehow there was already a car park there when I dropped it in. Maybe his car was parked at one of the previous businesses. They don't come with cars, I'm pretty sure. I would like to do, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, Expo, Aquarium, Science Center. This is a decent sized one. Let's put this over here right next to Colossal Order. It's gonna be kind of cool. Definitely want some height around the park, and then we'll build up more from there. So this zoning that I set up, I did not define as high tech. Maybe we'll leave it. We can always redo it later. But that's such a tremendous height difference in just a block. We'll see what it looks like when it fills out. Because right now, these businesses are not doing great anyways, so some standard office might help this area a little bit. Certainly help some people find some work that's more consistent and not going out of business. Can you please click to 440? Let's go. Let's see how far we have to zoom in. 420. Okay. Over here, where it doesn't snap. We'll zoom back out. Man, sometimes that's really annoying. You can turn the snapping off and turn it back on. One of those things that is just quicker. Slide over. Just do it that way. I find, I don't know. Everybody's got their preference. It's one of those things, the pipes and quick snapping on and off, it's something that I have hotkeyed on PC. So, one of those things that's a little bit easier when you're doing precision builds like laying networks of pipes. I'm just going to cover this entire block. I don't have to worry about it afterwards. At least everything that we've built out so far should be covered. I'll do over here just very briefly. Let's clean this up to the highway maybe, or to the edge of our map. And something occurs to me that I did want to show everybody, and I think I did that. I apologize if I did this in episode 9, but I think I did it in the first half. The one I recorded but didn't post, that was pretty boring, but we unlocked a new tile, and that tile we bought was this one, so that I could get into this to do a highway exit here. But in case I showed it in the one that I didn't post, or in case you missed it, this was my frustration, is if you see that tile on the right and the one to the north of it and the one to the south, look at how close that rail is. That rail is so close, but that is why we will probably not have rail access in this map, was because the map designer curved it and didn't bring it into that tile. I don't know why you would do this and just not hook it in 10 more feet, because your initial tile, the one we started with, was right here, and then I decided to build up. So if you're going to do a 3x3 square, which I don't know, maybe I do that more than other people, but you would never hit rail in that 3x3, or maybe you could in the bottom diagonal, maybe. But it's one of those things, like when I'm building maps, and I've just started to work on a couple, I want to be very careful to try to include things like rail, shipping, air, and obviously highway. Highway's the most important, but you want to be able to get at that easily from different builds. So you don't want to necessarily force people to play a certain way in your map. If that was the case, you just make every map an island. But it's kind of fun to expand different maps in different directions. People see, you know, different things. Maybe somebody else would have built out here into the valley around the mountains. I preferred the shore here. Maybe somebody else would have done a small town here and then gone across the river in that direction. So there's lots of ways you can expand, but that right there is so super limiting. It's so close you can touch it, but unfortunately no rails for us. So let's hit play again, see how things are filling out. I said it and I forgot to do it. So the next neighborhood we spin up will be a green neighborhood. I'm the worst sometimes, seriously. I do as I say, not as I do. If anyone, I feel like this is a fist shaking episode, so if you're shaking your fist at the screen for some of these mistakes that I've made, I bet you are not alone. Let me know in the comments down below. Is there a shaking fist emoji? I don't know. I only know how to do it with like ASCII, old school text. quick little commercial area here because we need it. Sorry, I keep zooming in and out. I'm trying to get a feel for what we do here. So we don't want intersections too close to this if we can avoid it, but kind of have to if we want to build out this block a bit. So again, we can always adjust this because this is limiting our ability to build this way, and this is limiting our ability to go that way. Not that we would want one right there. So let's see what we can do. We'll go off of that. Do some neighborhoods this way, maybe. I think we'll go 10. If it lets me. The snap is super annoying today. We could connect that up. That could be all right. And then I'm going to do... We're still doing standard commercial. I really want to have tourism and leisure kind of off on its own. I definitely want to do a little leisure area down here on the coast. Some bars and nightclubs and stuff like that on like maybe a little coastal road that then connects up into the grid. That could be cool. And then we have our mall and our grand library that should be bringing people in. So let's give them more incentive to come in here and spend more money, make more tax revenue for the city. So we've got that little neighborhood there. That little pocket of residential is filling up. Where could we do our next pocket? I think our could be around here. Could be just here off the park. Let's do it off the park for now. And I'm going to pause, and I'm going to remember this time, and these are going to be green buildings. So let's look at our districts. We didn't define anything here. All I did was paint a district because I wanted to make it green, and then I forgot. I wanted to do more skyscrapers, but I think, honestly, right now, I've got to sort out that problem with the exports. We've got to get a lot more commercial before it's a good idea anyways. So maybe it's not a bad thing. So green buildings, let's do that. We should have some people move in down there once this fills up. But we're going to have to run some power temporarily, maybe through our beautiful park. Our placeholder, I should say, for a park. Let me know what you think. Like I sometimes do very symmetrical. Obviously, I like the grid when it comes to building, especially the big downtown areas. We'll try and extend this out, and I'm going to break up some of this grid over here and get loose with it. Take a shot. But when it comes to these right here, the footpaths, I really wanted these to feel loose and rambling, and let me go into that and show you what I mean. So you come into the park, you double jump. That's what people do. You know, you're a tourist coming into the city, you want to see the beautiful Central Park. And it's just kind of this rambling path, and we can have, like, you know, food stands and trucks and cafes and public restrooms where nothing inappropriate ever happens in a public restroom at a park. Demonetization just for making that stupid half of a joke. It wasn't even a joke. I'm just getting demonetized for no reason for talking about things that happen in public parks and bathrooms. Okay, sidetracked. So you're a bull, you're walking through the park, and you have these just nice, loose, rambling roads, and it just, like, I think it feels, or I should say footpaths. I think it's got a good feel to it. I think it's interesting in a look from this perspective, right? It's about thinking about how your citizens would experience it at that level, because you can think about everything from this view, you know? But this is not how cities are lived in and how cities are experienced. And now with that option to get down into first person mode or to drive your city, I think it can give a really different perspective on, you know, what this looks like or even what this mess looks like versus when you're actually down there walking it, and it, you know, it has this nice flow and feel. But I could just be just patting myself on the back. I kind of like it. Let me know what you think. Is that too crazy for the footpaths? Yeah, let me know. I'm interested to know your thoughts. I want to try and break up the grid a bit. I think the grid works. You know, I'm an American, and a lot of our cities, big cities, are grid based. You know, even suburbs are going to have a lot of grid off of, you know, some initial streets and routes that were part of the city as it was coming of age. But as every city grows and gets bigger, you know, you've got to get away from little suburban, rolly neighborhoods like this and get more into the grid work. But I still think on this side of the highway, and apologies for if I'm whipping the camera around a lot, but I think we're going to loosen this up. We're going to add some more houses on this hill, maybe a third street between here and the university. We'll put a couple up here on the hill, and then we eventually still have to move out our industry. So let's do one more thing before we wrap up for today, and double check our education and service situation over here. So elementary school wise, we are terrible. Where do we want to put this in here? Kind of be nice for the kids not to even have to walk out in the main avenues. They could just get to the school in this neighborhood. But that's what we have crossing guards for. So we'll put them right across the street. We'll do the same thing with a high school. Is there a... Yeah, there's a crosswalk right there. We will do that. Let's look at our elementary again. Elementary school is in the red. So let's throw a couple up over here, because we've got a pretty dense pocket of people up here. We'll put one there. We didn't zone up over here, so let's do that. We're in the yellow. Where are we light? Over in this neighborhood. We didn't zone off over here, so perfect. Does that get us into the green? Almost. We'll throw another one over here, because we're going to have more residents on this side, I think. Let's put it right there. Man, that's a funny incline. Let's see what that does to the school. Seriously, would you park your car there? They poured concrete over his bumper and basically told him, your car lives here now. Sorry, buddy. That's not... You're never getting that car out. So elementary school, almost in the green. Problem is, I don't really know where to put them, so we'll let that ride for now. High school wise, we'll plan on making some more of this piece here. Residential, probably. Let's see. We could use one up in the north of the part of the town. Upper part of town. Let's do one here, because we've got room. And one over here. That should work. That gets us into the green, at least with high schools. Elementary students are going to have to fight for their right to learn. And let's just check our university coverage. That's not university. Let's check our university coverage. We are way in the green. I'd like to make this a heavy resident side so that if we eventually do need to turn on these other universities, it will be within range. If we spin up too much education over here, unfortunately, it's not going to help. And we're going to need to do another uni over here. We've got over $1 million in the bank. Man, it's expensive. Education, providing education, not to mention the tuition. We'll wait on the university. No, we'll throw it in. We're gonna throw it in. We're not even gonna just, hey, we'll do it right there. Happy Little University, right there. So education coverage is great, except for those elementary students. Fire coverage. I think it's time for a south station. We don't want our park to burn down. Let's do that. Let's look at police and see where that's at. So if we have it on that arm, it gets green up here. If we have it down here, that's close enough. We'll mirror it on the other side of our fire station there. Now, no power right now. What do we have the biggest demand for? Residential. See if we can get some residents spreading some power around. We do have residential demand over there. They might start moving in and fix that problem for us. Because they'll snake power from here to there. Did I not zone this? That's weird. I must have created that road after I zoned over here. This commercial spot filled up pretty fast. We had some good demand for that. That's good. Okay, so we're making some progress. We could, if we just want to make sure police coverage is working over here. We do have this little dead zone. I think it's going to eat up one tile to do that. Yeah, it covers one of those tiles, just the tiniest little bit. But that's not the end of the world to have a working fire and police station down here. We're at 43,000. We need to get a sizable bump up to 60,000. So here's what I'm thinking. It is episode 10. We need a serious bump in population. And how's our healthcare up here? Healthcare's good. It's just noisy. I mean, it's decent. Healthcare is still in the green up there. Here, this will help spread power too. And we can free up our zoning. So let's get rid of these power lines. Make sure our zoning's still good. Yep, we're good there. As you can see, we've got a good residential demand happening now. So I'm going to spin up some additional neighborhoods. We'll basically work with this space here, this space here. I won't do any major build towards the south, but this is a good spot for a quick mid-season break. So if you stay tuned this long, I really appreciate it. I'm absolutely amazed how many people tune in to watch these videos every day. And I love that you have a passion for the game like I do, and really appreciate that you have a passion for my content, what I share. It means the world to me. I really appreciate it. But I do want to take a quick break. This weekend specifically, we've got a couple things going on. And the Tropico dev reached out to me and gave me a beta key for Tropico 6. So I totally want to check that out. I love what I've seen in the game. It's originally was going to be released a couple weeks back, but it got pushed to March. I have all the respect for devs that do that, that know they want to put a little more polish on a game. It's not quite ready, and they're willing to say that, you know, hey, it needs more time before we put it in your hands. But they do have the beta out. The beta has looked fantastic from what I've seen. If you're not familiar with Tropico, it's a city builder, but you're El Presidente, and you're basically building a dictatorship. So you can build streets and businesses and all sorts of things, and then you can zoom in on a citizen and have them murdered. So if you want to see some of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you stayed tuned this long, you certainly appreciate the cities content. Let me know if you'd want to see some Tropico 6 city building with some closed beta access. It is coming to open beta, and I think you can get access to the closed beta if you pre-order. But since I have not played any of the previous games and have only seen them, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, I'm going to love it. And it's going to be a new twist on some of the things that I love about city building games. So keep an eye out for that. I'll put some of that on the channel. And I will shoot to have some more Let's Play cities up within the week, so it won't be too long, but please bear with me a few days while we tend to some things this weekend, including some Tropico 6 time that I will record. And then when we pick things back up, I also want to get into some tutorials and how-tos for some of the DLC content that I didn't cover in my last series, and specifically getting into, you know, just a quick episode on things like green cities, park life. I'd like to put out some videos for that just to see kind of what's out there. They usually do pretty well in terms of performance for a small channel like mine, so people are definitely looking for the information, and hopefully I present it in a easy to digest way. So keep an eye out for new tutorials, how-tos, some Tropico 6 footage, and within the week or so, we'll get back to the town of Santa Rico and continue our Let's Play Part 2 of Season 2. And we'll pick up right where we left off, right? I shouldn't say right where we left off. I will build up the population a little bit because we've got to get to 60,000 to then get to 75 for the monuments. So I'll get us up to 60,000 with some minor builds, filling in the space that we've already kind of carved out here. And then we'll pick back up and do some more fun projects, squeeze in some of our unique buildings and monuments. And then once we have everybody in the world wanting to come visit our city, we're going to have tons and tons of traffic problems, and we'll have to relook at some of our highway interchanges. We'll have to revamp the metro system, which is still on V1, if you will. So there's still a ton to do in this city, and I hope that you stay tuned. Bear with me for a few days while we tend to some other stuff. In the meantime, we've got a fire happening over here. They just put that out. Am I seeing things again? That building was on fire, right? You saw that. Okay, in the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, likes, comments, shares, all help the channel. Greatly appreciated. Subscribe for more, hit the bell to get notifications, and until the next one, this is Move the Mouse signing off. We'll see you in the second half of Season 2, and tune in for some of the other content as well. Thanks, everybody.